Hello class 11th student. Today again I am going to start chapter 13. Topic is price determination in perfect market. This is part 2. In the previous video I had told you what do you mean by market equilibrium. Okay, so market equilibrium is what when demand of X good is equal to supply of X good. So this condition is known as a market equilibrium. Whatever price prevails here, that is known as a equilibrium price, and whatever quantity sold and purchased, that is considered as a equilibrium quantity. So on the O axis we indicate quantity, and on OY axis we indicate price. Demand is your downward sloping line and supply is your upward sloping line. Okay, both intersect here. So this will be equilibrium point. This is your equilibrium quantity and this is your equilibrium price. Okay, and any price level that is more than equilibrium price, so this indicate excess supply, and market price that is less than that is less than equilibrium price, that is excess demand. Okay student, so this much we had learned in the previous video. Okay, in today video we are going to discuss about shift in demand and shift in supply and simple application of tools of demand and supply curve. So before starting the chapter, keep in your mind that when there is the condition of excess supply in the market, so there will be the competition among the seller and price is going to be low. If there is excess demand, yani demand is more than supply, the competition will be among the buyers and price is going to be high. Okay, now so shift in demand curve, in this we are going to learn increase in demand, decrease in demand. Okay, so let us start it. First is increase in demand. If there is increase in demand and there is no change in the supply, so what will happen in the market? What will be the impact on price, quantity? Okay, that we are going to discuss here. So if I explain in my own ways, so what we are going to learn, shift in demand. Okay student, so shift in demand यानी कि change in demand, तो demand can increase or demand can decrease, and in this duration supply there will be no change. Okay, so first we are going to discuss when demand is increasing and no change in supply. Supply क्या है, same है. Okay, so first we are going to draw the diagram. This is your demand and this is your supply, both are intersecting here. So this is your equilibrium quantity and this is your equilibrium price, OY axis, OX axis. Okay, now what happens if demand increases and there is no supply, no change in supply? So we are going to draw a new demand curve that is going to be rightward. Okay, when there is increase in demand, so we draw new demand curve that is going to be rightward. So we are going to draw the new demand curve that is rightward. So we get new demand curve D1. You can see that this demand curve intersecting supply curve at this point. So when we draw a line that is going to touch the O axis, we get a quantity. So there is increase in the quantity. If you talk about price, so price is going to be high. The price become P1. So these two changes will take place in the market. If I explain why these are happening, so we can explain it by the table. This is demand of X and this is the supply of X in the first condition. Suppose it is 10 and it is 10 and that time price is what, OP. Now condition is that कि demand has increased and there is no change in supply, यानी demand become 13 and supply is as it is, यानी 10. So this is the condition of what? This is the condition of excess demand. So whenever there is excess demand, price is going to be high because competition among the buyers, they are ready to pay more. Okay, so you can see ultimate result is that price is going to be high and overall supply is also going to be high. When price increases, so supply increases and demand decreases. Okay, so we are going to discuss with your book. So here you can see कि while supply remain unchanged and there is increase in demand, so what is going to be happen? So here you can see in the diagram, it is dt and this is your supply curve. It is intersecting at E point. Now condition is that कि demand is increases, so it become D1. Now it is going to intersect at E1 point. Quantity now is Q1 from Q and price become P1. So what we find? We find two things. Increase in price, first thing. Second thing what we find? Increase in equilibrium quantity and we reach at new equilibrium point, that is E1. Okay, why these things happen? So here it is written, when demand curve shifted to rightward, it show increase in demand. What will be revealed? Demand is greater than supply, yani excess demand. So whenever there is excess demand, price is going to be increased. When price increases, so its impact on supply there is positive relation, so supply is going to be high. Demand is going to be fall because there is negative relation. The quantity supply tend to increase, okay, and demand is going to be decrease, and in this way there will increase in the price and equilibrium quantity. Now come to the next condition, decrease in demand. Okay, so decrease in demand, here supply is same. If there is decrease in demand, so what will happen? So here you can see कि initially demand is D, supply is S, it is intersecting at E point. That time OQ is quantity, OP is your price. Now demand fall, so it become D2. Now this demand curve intersect this supply curve at E2 point, so quantity falls, it become Q2, price also fall and become P2. Why happen? Why there is fall in price and fall in quantity? So let me understand with the table. Demand and supply both are equal in the first condition, okay, at E point, yani it is 10 and it is also 10. That time price is what? Price is OP. Now in the second condition, demand is decreasing and no change in supply, yani ki demand become 8 and supply is still 10. So which is greater? This is greater. So in this way demand is less than supply, yani there is the condition of excess supply. Whenever we find the excess supply, there will be competition among the seller and price is going to be low. Okay, so what is written here? When demand was shifted to left, yani decrease in demand, so what we find? We find deficit demand. So there will be the condition of excess supply, okay, and price is going to be fall. When price falls, demand increases and supply decreases. Okay, so now next topic is simple implication of this demand and supply. So government intervened in market, okay, by price floor and price ceiling. So let me understand what is these two. So first of all we are going to study maximum price ceiling या फिर price ceiling. देखो, price ceiling is done in the case of necessary goods, okay, like kerosene. You know, in India still 29.9% people are living under BPL. Okay, so these people use kerosene as fuel and for power, yani ki for lighting. So in this way the demand of kerosene is too high in India because it is demanded by around 30 crore people, but its supply, if we talk about the supply, so we are not able to produce kerosene according to our need, so we are going to import it, so its price is high. So if government is not going to intervene, so demand is too high and supply is too low, so result is that the price is going to be very high for the kerosene. This high price is not suitable for the poor, and poor for lighting and for the fuel, they are dependent, still they are dependent on kerosene. So in this case government intervenes, and what it is going to do, it is going to forcefully decrease the price from P to P1, and now this is the maximum price that can be charged from the poor for this kerosene. This is known as a price ceiling. So it is done for those goods that is very important for the poor section, its price is too high for the poor section. In that case government come in front and decrease the price. Okay, now what is maximum price ceiling? It's mean that maximum price the seller are allowed to charge less than equilibrium market price. So this is the meaning of maximum price ceiling. Government imposes such a ceiling when it find that demand for necessary goods exceed its supply. Okay, तो जब भी डिमांड आपकी बहुत ज़्यादा है नेसेसरी गुड्स के लिए और उसकी सप्लाई उस रेशियो में नहीं है, तो गवर्नमेंट मैक्सिमम प्राइस सीलिंग करती है. ओके, when consumer are facing shortage or equilibrium price is too high, तो government do this. Okay, and excess demand may be fulfilled by rationing and dual market. Okay, so here you can see what is price ceiling. When there is free play of demand and supply, the price is decided OP. Okay, now this price is too high, so what government will do, government decreases this price forcefully. Now its price is decided OP. This OP price is what? Ceiling price. Okay, that is the maximum price for the kerosene or for any necessary good that a seller can charge. Now this price इज़ अवेलेबल ऑन राशन. ओके, आप PDS जानती हैं, राशन की दुकानें जानते हैं, वहाँ कैरोसिन है, गेहूँ है, चावल, उसकी प्राइस बहुत कम रखे जाते हैं, सीलिंग प्राइस पे बेचे जाते हैं, और मार्केट में ड्यूअल प्राइस मिलता है. पुअर सेक्शन के लिए ये सीलिंग प्राइस होता है, बाकी रिचर सेक्शन जो होता है वो फेयर प्राइस पे परचेस करता है. ओके, नाउ कॉन्सिक्वेंस क्या होता है आगे, क्या इसका रिजल्ट है? तो प्राइस सीलिंग accompanied by rationing of the good may have following adverse consequence. Each consumer have to stand in long queue. Okay, all consumer will not satisfied, and quality is also not good. Now next intervention tool is minimum price ceiling या price floor. It is also known as a MSP, minimum support price. Okay, when supply is too high in compared to demand, so in this case price is going to be decided very low. Okay, and this price is not sufficient for the producers. The government come and increases price forcefully, and this is the price at which a buyer can purchase. Okay, so this is what minimum price ceiling या price floor. It is done basically from agricultural product like rice, wheat. Okay, so its price is decided very low, and that is not sufficient for the farmer to do the production. So that is why government come and decide the minimum support price या फिर price floor, so that farmer is able to do the production, they get something from their activity. Okay, so what is minimum price ceiling? It's mean that producers are not allowed to sell the goods below the price fixed by the government. When government finds that equilibrium price is too low for the producer, the government fixes a price ceiling higher than equilibrium price to prevent the possible loss to the producer. Okay, the price is also called price floor or minimum support price. Generally, government buy the excess supply at this price. In this diagram you can see that this is the price OP decided by the market force. Okay, but this market price is too low. Okay, and farmers is not going to get any incentive, okay, to produce next year. So in this case government come and increases this price and keep this price OP star. Okay, so this is your price floor. It is done basically from the pharma product like wheat and rice, so that farmer are able to get the incentives. Okay, now thank you for today, students.